A very good afternoon to you. This is TV Sapienza on Star Times Channel 260. Today is Thursday, the 10th of April 2025. My name is Joe Igbo. In our news headlines this afternoon, 11 governors of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) have approached the Supreme Court challenging the powers of the president to suspend the democratically elected governor of Rivers State, Siminalayi Fubara. The National Identity Management Commission (NIMC) has warned Nigerians against sharing their national identity numbers or NIN with unauthorized persons, groups, or organizations. The All Progressives Congress (APC) has issued certificate of return to Prince Nicholas Ukachukwu as the party's flag bearer for the November 8, 2025 gubernatorial polls in Anambra State. The Federal Executive Council (FEC) has formally ordered the full implementation of the previously suspended Naira for crude agreement with local refiners. Now the details of the news. 11 governors of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) have approached the Supreme Court challenging the powers of the president to suspend the democratically elected governor of Rivers State, Siminalayi Fubara. The suit filed by the governors also challenged the declaration of emergency rule in Rivers State. The plaintiffs in the suit are Adamawa, Enugu, Osun, Oyo, Bauchi, Akwa Ibom, Plateau, Delta, Taraba, Zamfara, and Bayelsa states. The plaintiffs urged the Apex Court to determine if the president has the power to suspend a democratically elected structure of a state. The plaintiffs also asked the court to determine if the way and manner President Bola Tinubu pronounced the state of emergency declaration in Rivers State is not in contravention of the 1999 Constitution. The Minister of Education, Dr. Olatunji Alausa, has approved the implementation of a guiding policy on eligibility for the appointment of vice-chancellors, rectors, and provosts to promote equity, transparency, and integrity in the appointment process of federal tertiary institutions. A statement by the Director of Press and Public Relations, Mrs. Folashade Borionwo, explains that the policy has become necessary following a pattern of undue advantage observed over the years, where officers serving in acting capacities often leverage their positions to influence appointment outcomes, thereby compromising the selection process. The policy stipulates that any officer serving in an acting capacity as vice-chancellor, rector, or provost shall not be eligible to apply for the substantive position while still holding the acting appointment. However, in the interest of fairness, such officers may choose to recuse themselves from their acting positions before the expiration of their non-renewable 6-month tenure, thereby becoming eligible to apply for the substantive roles. The statement urges all governing councils, managements, and relevant stakeholders to ensure strict compliance with the new directive. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention, NCDC, has identified Ondo, Bauchi, and Edo states as the epicenters of the Lassa fever outbreak in the country. The Director General of the NCDC, Dr. Jide Idris, during a media briefing yesterday in Abuja, said that the three states contributed 71% of the 660 confirmed Lassa fever cases recorded between January and the end of March 2025, with Ondo accounting for 30%, Bauchi 25%, and Edo 16%. The Director General said NCDC response in those states is focused on early detection, case management, risk communication, and community engagement. Idris also said that 122 deaths had so far been recorded, resulting in a case fatality rate of 18.5%, higher than the 17.5% recorded during the same period in 2024. He said that to combat the spread, the NCDC had deployed National Rapid Response Teams to hotspot areas, trained healthcare workers on infection prevention and control, and scaled up community sensitization. The DG therefore stressed the importance of early presentation to health facilities to reduce fatalities. Another lawmaker from the opposition People's Democratic Party (PDP), KC Osanwonyi, representing Uhunwode constituency in the 24-member Edo State House of Assembly, has defected to the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC. With Osanwonyi's defection, the APC now holds a majority with 14 lawmakers, while the PDP has 10 remaining members. Governor Monday Okpebholo received Osanwonyi at the government house in Benin City following his formal reception into the APC by the state party chairman, Jarrett Tenebe, who presented him to the governor. Commending Osanwonyi and others who have joined the APC, Governor Okpebholo assured them of an inclusive and supportive environment to work together for the progress of Edo State. Recall that 5 PDP lawmakers in the Edo State House of Assembly have left for the ruling APC within the past 2 weeks. Osanwonyi, in his remarks, stated that his decision to join the APC was a result of the disunity in the PDP from the national to the unit level, as well as the achievements of Governor Okpebholo in a very short time in office. The National Identity Management Commission, NIMC, has warned Nigerians against sharing their national identity numbers or NIN with unauthorized persons, groups, or organizations. The Commission's warning came as scores of offenders were arrested by security agencies in some states. NIMC said it was aware of the activities of unauthorized individuals and organizations purportedly asking for the submission of NIN, especially in Anambra State, in exchange for money. The Commission said such requests contravene the NIMC Act No. 23 of 2007, Data Protection Act 2023, and Cybercrime Act 2023. A statement from NIMC Head of Corporate Communications, Dr. Kayode Adegoke, said those involved in the illegal act are being apprehended by security agencies. Adegoke added that they are currently being interrogated and will be made to face the full wrath of the law. He advised Anambra State residents and Nigerians to avoid submitting their NINs to unauthorized individuals, organizations, or platforms, as the federal government and NIMC have not authorized such. He maintained that the NIN, or rather NIN, can only be used by the holders to access government or private sector services, and it must be verified. The All Progressives Congress, APC, has officially affirmed the outcome of its Anambra State governorship primary election, endorsing the selection of Prince Nicholas Ukachukwu as the party's flag bearer for the November 8, 2025 gubernatorial polls. The National Publicity Secretary of the party, Felix Morka, disclosed this in a statement issued after the National Working Committee meeting held yesterday in Abuja. He described the primary as fair, credible, and transparent. Ukachukwu had emerged winner of the primary held over the weekend, polling 1,455 votes to defeat his closest rival, Valentine Ozigbo, who secured 67 votes. Other contenders, John Bosco Onunkwo and Edozie Madu, polled 26 and 8 votes, respectively. The process also recorded 26 invalid votes. The APC's Electoral Committee chairman and governor of Cross River State, Senator Basi Otu, had earlier announced Ukachukwu's victory. However, Valentine Ozigbo, a recent defector from the Labour Party, has challenged the process, labeling the primary as fraudulent and a charade. In a statement on Tuesday, he has since petitioned the party's appeals committee. Despite the protests, the party leadership has moved forward, presenting Ukachukwu with a certificate of return. At the National Working Committee meeting, APC National Chairman Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje commended the committee for conducting a transparent process and urged all aspirants to close ranks in preparation for the general election. The Rivers State Sole Administrator, Ebok Ete Ibas, has approved the appointment of chairmen and members of the Civil Service and Local Government Service Commission, despite a court order. The appointments were contained in a special government announcement issued yesterday and signed by the Secretary to the State Government, Professor Ibibia Works. Works said The appointments took effect from April 7, 2025. The Lagos State Traffic Management Authority has warned motorists that eating, drinking, or smoking while driving could attract jail terms. LASTMA stated that smoking, eating, or drinking while driving is a punishable offense under the Lagos State Transport Sector Reforms Law of 2018. This was disclosed in a post shared on its official X handle yesterday. The agency noted that the law is aimed at ensuring safety on the roads by preventing distracted driving. According to the law, violators risk having their vehicle impounded, facing 3 months imprisonment, or being sentenced to 6 months of community service, depending on the severity and judicial outcome. The agency said the reminder comes amid increasing concerns over road accidents across the state. The Federal Executive Council (FEC) has formally ordered the full implementation of the previously suspended Naira for Crude agreement with local refiners. The federal government said the initiative is not a temporary measure, but a key policy directive designed to support sustainable local refining of crude oil products. The government also said the initiative is still in effect and will continue immediately, overruling the decision of the NNPCL under its former boss, Mele Kyari, which tenured the initiative. The Minister of Finance, Wale Edun, at a meeting with representatives of the Dangote refinery on Tuesday, said the Naira for Crude policy is still in effect. Experts believe that the resumption of Naira-denominated crude oil sales will reduce the strain on the US dollar and guarantee the price stability of petroleum products. To end the Sapientia news at 1 p.m., a recap of the major headlines. 11 governors of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) have approached the Supreme Court challenging the powers of the president to suspend the democratically elected governor of Rivers State, Siminalayi Fubara. The National Identity Management Commission (NIMC) has warned Nigerians against sharing their national identity numbers or NIN with unauthorized persons, groups, or organizations. The All Progressives Congress (APC) has issued certificate of return to Prince Nicholas Ukachukwu as the party's flag bearer for the November 8, 2025 gubernatorial polls in Anambra State. And finally, the Federal Executive Council (FEC) has formally ordered the full implementation of the previously suspended Naira for Crude agreement with local refiners. That was the Sapientia news at 1 p.m. On behalf of the editorial and technical crew, I am Joe Igbo. Good afternoon and thanks for choosing TV Sapientia.